Hey guys, and welcome back to the Hideous Laughter Podcast. This is Steve. I play Matumbe on the show. Welcome back. This is our second episode. We're super excited that you guys either A, came back, B, are a listener in the future and is jumping on the bandwagon, or C, you've already listened to the show and are re-listening. And if that's the case, hi, Mom. Thanks for coming and listening to my podcast again. That's exciting. But anyway, we're our actually drunk, actual play podcast. I'm already fucking up the intro, so I'm going to make this nice and short. Go ahead and please check us out on our website, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, Tumblr, and I'm getting past a note right here. It says hideouslaughterpodcast.com is our URL, so check it out. Instagram, Hideous Laughter Pod. And without further ado, buckle up, listener. Let's get wasted together.
Do you like liquor and things that go boo? Then buckle up, listener, because this one's for you. Prepare yourself for the Hideous Laughter Podcast.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Hideous Laughter Podcast. We're so happy you came back to listen to episode 2. Before we really get started with our Pathfinder stuff, I want to know, what's everybody drinking? Steve?
Well, Griffin, this may come as a surprise to you and our listening audience. But that's a Hams.
Wow, I knew it by its distinctive sound.
Yep. Brewed in the land of sky blue waters.
How about you, Brooks?
As true to the last episode, White Claw.
Nice. Haley?
I am drinking sangria yet again.
Jesus.
I am also drinking a spiked seltzer.
All right, and as for me, this time I'm drinking a seltzy because it's not the first episode, so I don't have to celebrate with bourbon.
What flavor are you drinking?
Oh, it is raspberry rosé from Smirnoff, the champagne of seltzers.
Just curious.
White Claw is better.
So, guys, pretty exciting episode today. If you'd stop slurping into the mic.
I'm just really enjoying my Hams. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
You are not sponsored.
Yet.
So, where we last left off, you guys were carrying this coffin. Well, some of you were too small to carry the coffin. You're carrying this coffin through the graveyard known as the Restlands when a couple of hillbilly-like town folk came and basically told you can't bury this dude here. We left off on an initiative roll, but before we get to the roll, does anyone want to volunteer to tell me what initiative is?
I can tell you.
Okay, go ahead. Take it away, Haley.
So in general, with Pathfinder gameplay and combat, you roll initiative to determine what order you act. So every round of combat is 6 seconds. So when you roll initiative, that says what order you go and get to do your 6 seconds of action for combat. So that means 10 rounds is a minute. Most combats don't last a full minute unless they're very difficult. But initiative is that's just that order.
And how do you determine your initiative?
Yeah, you just roll a d20, and then everyone has an initiative modifier. It can be affected by feats, but it is related to your dexterity.
All right, sweet. So with that, how about we all roll for initiative?
The first roll for initiative.
The first roll for initiative of the podcast.
I got a natural 1.
Oh, baby.
First initiative roll.
You were too distracted.
Godforsaken podcast.
Matumbe was way too distracted, and
Yeah, because I was having an actual dialogue with these people.
So, the intimidating Matumbe, what is your total initiative?
So I rolled a 1 on the die, on my 20-sided die. That's what a D20 means for those of you who don't
Okay,
know.
I don't think we're getting that basic with it.
Well, my parents are listening, so.
What's a D20?
So I add my initiative modifier, which is at a +4. So total, I have a 5 initiative.
It's not too bad for a 1 at level 1.
Yeah, it could be worse.
What about Ikmur?
I rolled a 10, and with my modifier, a total of 12.
Okay, how about Eclipse?
I rolled really great with a 7 and have a total of 8.
Dope. And Lyra?
I rolled a 4, and with my modifier, I'm up to a 9.
We are not
Holy
doing
shit,
great.
gang.
Yep.
Wow.
Well, you guys were
Wow.
really caught off guard by these townsfolk that yelled at you for 5 minutes.
But we are also holding a coffin.
Not me. I have no excuse.
Yeah, you have no excuse.
Well, you're short and you're behind the coffin.
Yeah, so you're just like,
Oh,
what's
perfect.
going on? I also can't hear from this vantage point. Are people yelling? Okay. It is with a heavy heart that I say, Ikmur, with a 12, please start us off.
Well,
Combat begins.
Ikmur is pretty timid at first, but I think he would, as a free action, he would ask Lyra, can you hold this? I don't like this very much. I think I'm gonna try to make him, I don't know, look intimidating. I don't know, or make myself look a little intimidating.
Okay, so you basically want to, again, attempt to intimidate these guys. Now, you know it worked. Motumbe was able to get 4 of the original 12 dudes to run away with his intimidation check. So it has the potential to work for you if you want to give it a shot.
I did not know that, but Ikmur would, in fact, not intimidate, but just ready in action after he would probably let go of the coffin.
Okay.
And then
You see your GM reaching for dice.
And you're
So you
like,
let go. You let go of the coffin.
yeah.
All right.
you're holding on to the front, right?
Yeah.
All right. You're good. The coffin wobbles, but you're okay.
All right. Then he is going to move 4 spaces forward,
So 20
total
feet
of 20 feet, and then be in a defensive stance.
Okay. Is that a mechanical thing that you're doing? Are you fighting defensively, or I don't know if you can do that at level 1.
In
But
total defense. Or no?
Oh, probably total defense.
okay,
So-
perfect. So that'll confer bonuses to you and make you a little bit harder to hit. But with Ikmur done, it is now the hillbilly gravekeeper's turn.
Really
And,
quick. Mechanically, you have a +4 to your AC because you like hunkered down. Mechanically.
Okay.
Awesome.
So what's going to happen first is Lyra's dad actually steps out in front of Lyra. He's kind of holding onto the side of the coffin, and he gets under it, grabs both sides of the front, and says,
Protect the others. Make sure these people leave. We need to get the professor buried, and I can carry it here.
and he just shoulders this load, this huge dude shoulders this load up front, and he says,
You two in back, stay there, or I'll surely dump him.
and so Lyra and Matumbe are free to act at this point. And unfortunately, after that, it's time for some mayhem. So the 2 villagers up front are going to charge at the nearest target, which is Ikmur.
Is that a mechanical charge?
That is a mechanical charge.
It cannot be for that. Oh, he's 10 feet away. Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So they are both mechanically charging at Ikmur to the closest square to him. So one charges 10 feet and the other charges 15 feet. And they're like, "Oi, get out of here!" They both swing at you, Ikmur.
I can take it.
I imagine you can. I imagine this is probably not a worthwhile roll for me. There's going to be a 14 and a 12.
No, that does not hit.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
The other villagers seeing their two buddies completely clang off of Ikmur's armor start to flank around the sides of Ikmur. So they're both going to come around, double move towards the rest of the party. And they're gonna move wide enough around Ikmur so that they don't incur an attack of opportunity. So if you could place them wherever that makes sense, that's what the rest of the group is gonna do. So about half of them are gonna go to Ikmur's left side, and the other half are gonna go to his right. And they all have what looks like shoddy farm equipment readied. So they're trucking up and they're ready to fuck shit up once they get close enough to you guys to do some damage. Ikmur, can you make me a quick perception check?
Absolutely. Total 6.
Total 6. Yeah, you were too busy kind of shrugging in your total defense to really notice much about these guys other than that they were trying to hit you. So
That makes sense.
So after the villagers go, it's actually it's actually Lyra's turn with a 9. So Lyra, you are now free and clear of the coffin. You don't have to hold it up to make sure that it doesn't spill because your dad is basically shouldering the load.
Holding the whole thing. All right. So after seeing some of the people run away after Motumbe's diplomacy or intimidate?
Both.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both. Okay. She's still not really liking the odds, so she would move 10 feet closer to the mob kind of surrounding Ikmur, and then try to do an intimidate check.
Okay.
On the group.
So in combat, I'll let you target like one of them. You know what I mean? Like Motumbe's original intimidate was kind of didn't have a mechanical benefit. It was kind of like a role-playing benefit. Your intimidate, unless you get something like dazzling display, will only affect one of the enemies.
One enemy. Okay. I will, I guess, just do the enemy closest to me, kind of trying to come around and flank.
Okay.
Ikmur. Not a great roll, so I rolled an 8. And with my bonus, that brings it up to a 13.
A 13. That should be enough to make him shaken for one round.
Okay. And I think realistically, Lyra would say something like, Professor Lorimore was a good man. We will defend his right to be buried here. Leave now or face the consequences.
It's like, okay, lady, don't attack her. Okay. Is that your full turn, Lyra?
Yeah, I moved
You
up
moved
closer
and-
and then did the intimidate.
Eclipse is your turn currently.
All right. So I'm going to walk just 10 feet towards the group of 4 villagers I have here. And I'm very excited to be so close because I'm going to cast Ghost Sound. And I am going to be making the same amount of noise as 4 normal humans. And the noise that I want them to create is leave this place of your hatred. And I just want, like, imagine 4 ghosty voices kind of saying that. So then those 4 villagers all need to make a will save.
Oh, fun. What's the DC?
Only 12, but I was hoping this would frighten them away.
Okay, it's only 12.
Yeah.
Well, they're villagers, son. 2 of them make it. The 2 in the front, the 2 in the back do not. So they believe this noise, and they're like, I knew this place was haunted. And the two in the back, on their turn, are going to peel off.
Hell yeah.
They are terrified of the ghostly noise you made behind.
Amazing.
And next up is Motumbe.
All right, so Motumbe is going to look at Lyra's father and say, "Thank you for handling the load." And he's he is going to go ahead and run up to the closest villager and swing an unarmed strike punch right into this guy's jaw.
How many feet forward did you move?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
25 feet, and he swings at the closest villager.
That's a 6 total.
Yeah, somehow you miss a unarmored villager. He weaves out of the way, and he's like, "What do you think you are, Mike Tyson?"
No.
Who is
Mike Tyson?
So, back to the top of the order, and round 2, it's back to Ikmur.
All right. After being swung at, Ikmur is actually not very happy about this, and say, "Well, you asked for it," and swing at the villager right directly in front of him with the non-pointy end of his spear.
Okay, so that attack roll takes a -4 for trying to be non-lethal.
Correct.
Yep.
Total of 14.
That hits him.
All right. Total of 11.
Yeah, you knock him right in the jaw. You can see his couple teeth come flying out of his mouth. His head whips back and he falls over backwards, spread eagle on the ground. He's out of this fight.
But, I'm sorry. And he picks up and yeah, as a move action, he's gonna pick up a few of his teeth and then attempt to give them back to him.
Shoving teeth in the unconscious guy's mouth. Hi, I'm Ikmur.
Oh, so sorry.
Please take your teeth back.
You dropped these.
Okay. With Ikmur done, it is the villager's turn once again. A couple things are going to happen. One of the villagers, the one in between the three just beyond Ikmur, is going to... Nope, the other side. Yep, is going to step up to Ikmur, 5-foot step. And now that he's flanking, is going to attack Ikmur. And he fumbles.
Oh, man.
The villager
boy.
directly diagonal from him that's flanking Ikmur is going to attack Ikmur as well. And he misses with a 4 on the die. The one behind the guy that just came up to flank takes a 5-foot step and swings at Ikmur as well. Ikmur seems like this big target, and he just knocked out one of their buddies, so they're all kind of converging on him.
So at this point, Ikmur is nearly completely surrounded. There are 3 enemies directly 5 feet away from him.
Yeah. This guy only gets a 14, though, and I don't think that hits.
No.
No way.
So the guy behind the one right up next to Ikmur is actually going to take a 5-foot step towards Lyra. And although he is shaken, he's going to attempt to swing at you because he just saw one of his buddies get knocked down, and he's not sure if you guys are more dangerous, or if you're more dangerous, or Ikmur is. So he swings at Lyra. It's a critical threat.
Ooh.
20 on the dice.
Oh no.
Are we confirming that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, he's going to roll to confirm, baby. That's a 9, which I don't believe confirms, but he still does hit you. Ooh, max damage. 7 non-lethal damage.
Okay.
So Lyra is the first to find out that these guys don't seem like they're necessarily out for blood. they're really just trying to get you guys out of this graveyard. They don't want you burying Professor Lorimore. This graveyard by the sea. This oceanside graveyard.
I like it. I like
had to
it.
pick a sound.
You picked seagulls.
That's the one I knew.
Mid-combat, pick seagulls. So I still have a couple more guys to play with. The one that is right next to Matumbe that got missed by Matumbe is going to swing at Matumbe, and we're doing this Matumbe style with a bludgeoning weapon.
Oh, yeah, baby. Bring it.
That's a 10, which won't hit.
Sure won't.
The one behind the man that just swung at Matumbe is actually going to take a route around to get to E, and he's going to swing at E. That's not going to hit E with a 6 on the die, and they're not really doing so hot. And then the other guy behind the one that just swung at Matumbe steps up and swings at Matumbe with his pitchfork. And misses. Swing and a miss for most of them. One of them got a shot off on Lyra, and I imagine Lyra's dad's like, no, somebody help my daughter.
So what happened to the two that were supposed to run away?
Oh, you're right. You called me out. Those two actually run away. Neither of them hit Matumbe, so it doesn't quite matter. The two that actually came up to attack Matumbe, yes. Those two actually start running.
With my spooky ghost sounds.
Yeah, I forgot.
Ghost.
Jeez, all it takes is one round for me to just get real excited and get that GM bloodlust to kill you guys.
That sound had a ghost on it.
That was not a ghost.
So two guys run away, and it is back to Lyra.
Our live audience is really into it.
The Hideous Laughter podcast is played in front of a live audience.
All right. So Lyra would say, as a free action, I'm fine, Dad.
It was non-lethal.
And then because he's attacking her, she's going to try to hit him with a non-lethal as well, with like the probably back of her morning star.
The SN for Morningstar.
I'm not going to hit him with the spikes. I'm going to try.
These are non-lethal spikes.
Ooh, I actually rolled well. So it would be a 16 with the -4.
Oh, damn, you did
Yeah.
well. Yeah, you hit him. Roll for
Awesome.
damage.
Is it the same damage I would
It's
have
the same
done?
damage.
Okay.
It's just harder to make your attack roll because you're attempting to use your weapon in a way that it wasn't designed for, basically.
All right, and I did 8 damage.
Yeah, he falls over too. You actually you get him in the nose with the butt of your morning star. You kind of swing it up, and he just falls to the ground, his nose bleeding, and then he just kind of slumps over to the side, and you can see he's not going to be bugging you anymore. Especially when he was shaking to begin with. You really ruffled this guy's jimmies, and then he just laid down and died. Eclipse, it's going to be you.
All right. Well, seeing as my ghost sound didn't work for everybody, I think I'm gonna try and play a trick on the one that is actually flanking Ikmur on Lyra's side. So I'm gonna take a 5-foot step towards the road towards Ikmur. Yeah, right there behind Matumbe. And then I'm going to use my special ventriloquism, which works very similar to ghost sound.
Oh, of course.
Except for this. That's not a ghost, Steve.
It says ghost.
But it's similar to ventriloquism is similar to ghost sound, except it's like a racial ability that I have. So I'm going to try and throw my voice and try and convince him again that the place is haunted. And I can make it sound like someone's whispering like in his ear, but he kind of can't make out the words. So it's like, go away. I don't know. Go away. Type of thing.
Okay, so what kind of save is that?
That is
will
another
save?
will save, yes. But it's a little bit higher. 13.
Ooh. Yeah, he doesn't make it. So he's like, what was that? What was that? He's going to, you may as well just start him down the path. He's going to run away. But I don't want to forget it this time. Unless Ikmur wants to take a pot shot at him while he runs.
Nope.
So he just hops the fence and starts leaving the restlands.
Awesome.
And with that, it's going to be Matumbe's turn. Matumbe, you don't have any guys near you anymore.
I actually do. I have one that is just diagonal from me. It's like halfway between me and Ikmur.
Oh, yeah,
Ikmur's token is so large.
Yeah, we really gotta
He'll change size after this.
All right, so Matumbe is going to pretty simply just take a swing at this guy. See if he can't break the...
Is he doing non-lethal or is he doing lethal damage?
I don't have the book out yet. I've got my shield in my left hand, and my right's a big old meaty shack fist. All right, that's a 10 total to hit.
10 hits.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Thank God. All right, so it's a D3. So I'm taking a D6 and going high, medium, low. Yep. Ooh, it's high. Okay, so that is 7 points of damage.
Yeah, you punch him actually, and you're trying to be non-lethal about it, but you hit him right in the Adam's apple, and he starts kind of gasping, and then he just pees himself a little and falls forward.
Did I kill him?
No, I mean,
oh God,
you did non-lethal damage. He's gonna be talking like this for a while though.
Oh dear. I hope he's a reoccurring NPC.
You're the guy that hit me last week. Fuck you, man. So,
Do not disturb the holy rites of a funeral.
yeah, dude. Okay, man. Roll an intimidate check. So anyway, it's going to be Ick's turn again. Ick,
right.
the bodies are hitting the floor around you.
Yeah. Well, he heard Lyra's dad, Mikhail, and still using the blunt end of his spear, gonna quick whip it around and say, "Oh, Lyra, are you okay?" And in that process, hit the hit the person.
He turns around to talk and whacks the dude.
Turns around to talk and attempts to hit the villager right next to him. And total of 8.
That doesn't hit him. He just kind of like, you swung it high and he ducks underneath it. And he gets ready because he's attacking next, and he jabs at you with a shovel.
All right.
And he doesn't hit you because I know what kind of monster DC or AC you have. By the way, you guys should not be using your shield AC because both your hands were occupied as pallbearers. You definitely don't have your shields out unless you took them out.
Oh, well, he didn't hit me anyway.
Yeah, it would have been miles wide either
Fair
way.
enough.
But so that guy goes. The guy 10 feet from Eclipse steps 5 feet up and swings at Eclipse. And misses wide with a 2. And I think they're the only 2 left, if I'm not mistaken.
They are.
Is this guy still in the battle?
He ran away.
Okay.
So he keeps running. We got 2 running out the back of the Restlands, 1 running out the side of the Restlands. And it's back to Lyra's turn.
All right. After making contact with that guy, knocking him out, Lyra's getting a little excited, but she sees that there's still a few more out. So she is going to start singing. And she has part of her archetype is that it's called Ocean's Echo. So she can sing and inspire, basically doing a bardic performance. So she inspires courage to those around her. And the song that she's going to sing goes a little like this. It matters not, I have oft been told, where the body shall lie when the heart is cold. Yet grant, oh grant this boon to me, oh bury me not in the deep, deep sea.
Are you trying to like intimidate him?
No, this is an inspiring song.
Okay, so you inspire your friends. Guys, make sure you indicate that you have Inspire Courage on for this round. And Eclipse, it's your turn.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Inspire Courage will give a +1 bonus to all of our attack rolls and our damage rolls. But
And it helps against like fear effects and stuff.
I am fearful of these villagers.
For you, not for them.
Actually killing them.
Yeah, I don't have any weapons out because I wasn't planning to fight at a funeral.
Oh, you could throw a fist. You could probably hit him right in the nuts. You're eye level with him.
That was, I guess, kind of the plan. Since I've used all of my ventriloquism and ghost sounds for the day, I was going to try and punch this guy.
Ooh.
All right, Cyrus.
I got 14.
That hits.
I have 1d2 damage.
1d2.
Jeez.
Ooh, wow.
Odds or evens on the d6.
I was going to just do a d4 and highs and lows. All right, so I did 6 damage, non-lethal.
You crack him on the sack. Like,
Oh, poor
you,
guy.
Like you throw that elbow into it, and you can like feel his sack just go right up into his belly, and this guy throws up. He throws up, is nauseated, and
On
falls
me?
to the ground. No, he misses you because he's just so much taller than you. He just throws up right over you. And he collapses on the ground, squeezing his nards.
Oh, God.
Matumbe.
All right. Seeing that the guy Matumbe was just about to deck is having difficulties. Matumbe is going to move up to the very final villager of this fight and take a swing at him. So that's the one that is currently threatening Ikmur. He's going to move 5-10 feet, and he's going to take a swing here. Oh, dear. That's a 9 total.
That does not hit.
Damn it.
I guess you figured out what their AC is.
Garbage today.
Okay.
Absolute garbage.
Matumbe's gone, and it's Ikmur's turn.
All right. Well, after having a shovel just about poked at him, he's going to say, oh, well, that wasn't very nice. And attempt to hit the last villager with the non-pointy end.
Okay.
And total, well, he definitely hits him.
Better
15
than
on
10.
that. 15
Oh, yeah,
on that.
yeah,
15 on
you
the
got
die.
him. You got him. So, roll your damage. I think you definitely knocked him down, too.
Yeah, total of 10.
Yep, that knocks him down more than he needed. You hit him kind of, he's trying to bob and weave, and as he turns his jaw to one side, you actually get him on the back of the head. You know from the instant you hit him, you know he's concussed. But he's not dead. And he's lying on the ground, kind of shallowly breathing, and you take a moment to survey your surroundings, just surrounded by unconscious people. Ikmur standing in the middle.
Sorry.
So at this point, you guys have knocked all these guys out, and you kind of see from the distance there's 3 men and one's lagging behind the other 2, but they're running up on the scene. And you see them pass the 2 guys that were running away, and those guys freak out again when they see more people, and they just start veering to the right and out of the restlands. And you see it's these 2 guys with shovels and an older gentleman. The older gentleman is wearing robes, and he has some ornamentation that has basically the spiral that, if you can remember from last episode, Matumbe drew over his chest, signifying pharasma. And as they get to you, the man huffing and puffing, he's, oh, hello there. I'm sorry, I haven't run like that in quite some time. My name is Father Grimborough. I was here to do the rites to Professor Lorimore's funeral. Kendra had cleared everything up with me. We got his plot all taken care of. I'm so sorry. I know these people. They're a part of my parish. I can't believe they would attack somebody in this holy place.
Matumbe's going to walk up to him and extend a hand. He says, "Pleasure to meet you, Pastor. These villagers, they spoke of necromancy. I am concerned here. Do you know anything about this?"
No, my child. I see you carry the book.
"I do."
Professor Lorimore was not known in reality as a necromancer at all. I knew the man for years. He was a great man, a learned man, and yes, he did learn about some controversial things, but he was never that type of person.
So this was a misunderstanding.
Yes, I do believe, as well-intended as they were, they're ill-informed villagers.
Perhaps these townsfolk did not quite understand what was at stake here.
I don't believe they do. I actually... And he rests for a minute. He kind of pulls out this staff that he's got, and he leans on it, and you see this flash of white light escape him, and in a burst, because he's standing about where Ikmur is on the map, but right by Matumbe, this flash reaches out to all the villagers that are on the ground, and any of you that have taken any damage, so Lyra, and it clears up your non-lethal damage completely, because he just channeled positive energy.
That sound was much louder than the other ones.
Yeah. So Father Grimborough tells the men, get out of here and make it straight to the sheriff's office with you. This is abhorrent. I can't believe you've done this, especially with visitors to our town. And he basically helps lead the procession to Professor Lorimer's gravesite. So if you guys move yourself up, his gravesite is indicated on the map by that blue box. He's about... And remember, I said each square is 20 feet in this map. So he's about another 100, 150 feet up. You guys make it there, and the funeral procession, or the burial begins. So...
Well, as we're walking up, Ikmur would say to Father Grimoire, if I had some water, I'd give it to you.
You'd like holy water, young man. Is that what you're looking for?
No, you just look winded is all, I guess. Just trying to be helpful.
In my old age, it's tough to run all the way across a cemetery after these ruffians.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ikmur, for protecting the procession.
Absolutely. And then he'll bow.
He bows. Get up, boy, get up. You don't know what you're doing. I'm a mere pastor. Come, let's get to the plot. In more ways than one. So he takes you guys to the burial site, and he does basically a traditional Pharasman ceremony.
And as he's speaking the words, saying the prayers, Matumbe is silently mouthing along to the entire thing. So he knows it all by heart.
He's like, blah, 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 Lady of Graves, blah, 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 the Circle of Bones, blah, blah, blah. Lord will find his way, his true destiny, his path, Pharasma will guide him. And as he finishes up, he says, if there are any people here who wish to say a few words about the professor, please step forward. And immediately Lyra, sorry. Immediately Lyra sings a song. Immediately Kendra steps up, being, his next of kin, and delivers a speech. And what she says is, I'm so happy. Despite my father's death, I'm so happy that all of you could come together here. I feel like my father was blessed to have the friends that he did. All of you coming together here just goes to show that he led such a wonderful life. I know he was an adventurer, but he cared more about knowledge than anybody I know. My favorite story about my dad was the time he taught me my first spell. And I was really young. I was only about 8 years old. I remember him standing behind me and showing me the hand motions and what to say for prestidigitation. And I remember cleaning the dishes and how proud he was of me for cleaning them with magic. He was such a good man, and I thank you all again for being here. And she kind of gets down and she's crying a little bit. And then another man stands up, a man that you haven't met before, but he was one of the pallbearers behind you. And he gets up.
Oh, one of the pallbearers that did not help us fight.
Well, remember
They were
when Mikhail said
they were handling
I need
the
somebody
load.
in the back.
Called out.
They didn't want to kill the villagers. They figured get a couple level 1 people up there. They'll be able to test this out. So he steps up in front of everybody and he starts talking. And he says, "Hello, everybody. My name is Adivion Edressant. For those of you that don't know me, I was the professor's apprentice. Now, I like to think I was his greatest student, although he never told me that. I was his only student that he ever allowed to go on adventures with him. After I graduated from Lepidstadt University, he and I went on great adventures together to the Mwangi, to Osiria, all over the world. And I knew the man so well. I knew his passions, his especially passion for knowledge. Although we all miss him dearly, I know that his studies will live on. He's left his mark on this world, and I'm grateful for having known him." And Adivion gets down from the stage, and then Father Grimborough opens it up to basically any of you. If any of you would like to say a couple words about the professor. I'm not forcing you here, but...
I think Lyra would stand up, trying to kind of suppress tears, looking a little shaken from just touched by the whole ceremony. And she would say, "The professor gave me freedom, and I will forever be in his debt for that. Thank you." And then she'll sit back down.
Somebody opens a beer in the audience. Anyone else? Oh, can you roll me a diplomacy?
Yeah. A 16.
Okay. They were moved by your tears.
Oh.
Anybody else want to give it a go, or shall we end with Mikhail?
Matumbe can step up. So Matumbe is going to hop up there and he's going to start talking. He's going to say, "I know Professor Lorimer only briefly, but I saw him at what I can only imagine would be his greatest weakness when he was almost perishing from malaria, the jungle fever. When the absolute resolution to live that I saw in that man was astounding, and though I saw him at his absolute weakest, I also saw him at his absolute strongest, persevering to live. I was greatly moved by this man, and it is my honor to be here at his very funeral."
Roll me a diplomacy as well.
All right. That's a 6.
Okay.
No, nobody really gives a shit.
Who is this guy?
I'm rolling absolute trash.
The dice giveth and the dice taketh away.
They taken.
Anybody else want to say a few words? Or you guys?
Ikmur would step up and say, "When I met the professor, he was very nice to me, and I think we were friends." And that would be it.
He stands up, says that, walks down.
If you roll a higher diplomacy, I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, go ahead, roll your diplomacy.
Total of 11.
Okay.
They almost like you twice as much.
Like, this guy I could get behind.
He, well, I guess to further that diplomacy, he'll rub a scar and look down almost like pitifully, just to make it a little bit.
Just so everybody's like, I understand why this kid's really dumb.
Yep.
Look at him, he's pitiful.
Why? Why?
Maybe like sad trombone at that.
Oh, I do have that.
Well, the villagers
your character didn't necessarily know the professor as well. You more than welcome to say some stuff, but
No, she's gonna stay in her seat, kind of sit, twiddle her thumbs, and probably her legs will probably don't touch the ground, so she's probably sitting like a little kid.
So finally, the burly giant of a man who still looks up to Matumbe, McHale, Lyra's dad, stands up, and he's the one that, you know, may not have been the professor's family, but he definitely adventured with the professor the most until recently. And so he wants to say a couple words. So he says, I've known the professor at his weakest. Like Matumbe, I've seen him struggle. And I thank you for helping him through that time, Matumbe. I don't know if I've ever suffered a loss like this. If I have, it's lost to the annals of time. But I will say this. Without the professor, I would not have a daughter. I wouldn't have purpose in my life. I know I come across as this noble paladin, and that's true. But without my religion and without my family, I would be nothing. Old Deadeye watches over you, old man. And he gets down. And with that, you guys kind of all gather together and walk back through the Restlands to the Lorimore household. Kendra lets you all know, guys, I'm doing a reception after the funeral. We're waiting for Councilman Hearthmount. He's gonna read the will. I know. And she specifically comes up to you four, and she's like, I know you four were specifically mentioned in the will. You have to be there. So you may as well come to the reception and get some food. And with that, you go back to the Lorimore household with this big group of people. And there's a bunch of interesting looking people. You know, you saw these people that you had never met before talking at the funeral, being pallbearers at the funeral, but there's also 10 to 20 more people that are either townsfolk or are from far away in like dozens of different garbs, coming from wealthy robes to, you know, the tavern keeper's best dress. So as you guys get back, I'll let you kind of explore you can get your hors d'oeuvres. I'm sure Ikmur is going to eat his face full. Oh, yeah. But as you kind of wander around the reception, I'll let you know who you meet. You can strike up a conversation with them if you want. You guys can go your separate ways, or you can walk around awkwardly like a pack of four. It doesn't matter much to me. Does that sound good?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
First of all, Ikmur is going to walk up to the food table and attempt a stealth check on a few rolls, and to stuff them in his pocket.
To stuff them in his pocket. All right.
Total of 9.
Total of 9. Okay. Well, there's actually a man standing next to you, and he's eating. He's kind of doing the same thing as you. He's not being as stealthy about it, but he definitely notices you.
Oh boy.
And he walks up to you, and he's kind of he's wearing these beautiful purple robes, and they have kind of like a dark velvet liner, and he's wearing these intelligent looking spectacles. He's kind of he's a portly man. You can see his cheeks are super rosy. He's got this blonde goatee. He looks like the jovial sort. And he comes up to you and he says, "And who might you be?"
Oh, goodness.
Here we go.
I'm Ikmur, and I just carried the coffin, but you look pretty fancy.
Oh, you're some kind of a celebrity, carrying a coffin and all. My name is Aubryn Chalet. A pleasure to meet you, Ikmur.
Nice to meet you too.
Ikmur, mouth sounds are pretty rude when you're next to a microphone.
Okay. Yeah. Those were good rolls, right?
Yeah, they were delicious. I managed to eat them off mic, though. And so he gets to talking to you, and he's actually, and he says to you, so how did you know the professor? You said he was your friend in your speech, and that's not much to go off, young man.
Yeah, that's I guess that's true. He and I met while I was defending his caravan. Actually, there was a pack of wolves, and he helped me fight them off. He was very nice about it. He was my friend.
Oh, he helped you, the hired help. He helped you fight them off, did he?
Yeah.
He got his hands dirty.
Well, he gave me the spear actually.
Oh, well.
Show him the spear, the broken spear.
Ooh, that's an interesting weapon you've got there, Ick. And he reaches out and he grabs it, and I don't know how Ikmur reacts to that. He like grabs the spear with both hands, and you can see like he's concentrating on it.
Ikmur would be slightly defensive, probably like hands clenched, or his free hand is clenched, with his shield on his back. He's almost ready to grab it, but he'll hold back.
He holds back from grabbing it.
Yeah, from grabbing it away from.
But does he have a hand on it? Or did he full on give it to Auburn?
Oh, he would have a hand on it.
So he can feel this slight tingling in his hand, and moments later, the spear is good as new.
Ooh.
And Auburn says, "The pleasure is all mine, young man. Why don't you do combat with a more fitting weapon? You wouldn't want to go into combat with something as broken as this spear." And he hands it back to you, and you can mark it down. Your spear has been mended.
Awesome. Wow. This is so nice of you. How can I ever repay? I actually don't have any money, but
don't think a thing of it. Don't think a thing of it, Ikmur. Just promise me, if you're ever up in Caliphas, look me up. We'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
Maybe you'll be a little older. Maybe you'll be able to drink beer.
Well, absolutely. Thank you. I am just touched.
Just look at me at the Quarterfoe Archives. I'm the curator.
The quarter what archive?
Quarterfoe.
Quarterfoe.
I'll put it on a piece of paper for you, Ikmur. I'll put it in your back pocket. Maybe one of your friends can read it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so as this is kind of happening, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I'm assuming the four of us walk in together, but sort of go our separate ways.
I would assume, yeah, Ikmur went straight to the food. There's all kinds of rooms, and Kendra has kind of left the first floor all open. The bedrooms are obviously, who goes into a bedroom during a wake? But, but his library's open. The kitchen's all open. He's got this room. It's more of a study than a library. It still has some books, but it's got some interesting knickknacks in it. So you guys can basically go wherever you'd like.
Well, I would say as soon as we walk in, Ikmur's going his own way. I'm not sure what Eclipse is doing, but as they cross the threshold, Matumbe puts his hand up in front of Lyra's chest to kind of stop, hang back, and he's going to go, "Lyra, you sang in battle. I once knew a woman who could sing like that. Tell me, from where do you draw your power?"
Well, I've always been able to sing, and as I sang more and more, it just seemed to touch people. I think it comes from my natural musical abilities and also my close ties to the ocean.
From the ocean? Do you have a specific patron?
No. I mean, I've always kind of followed rest still, just from my father's following. But I've always felt a draw to the ocean. No specific deity.
Thank you for sharing your power with us.
And the conversation's pretty much concluded. He walks off and
He walks off.
yep.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Next time, heal me.
You're not gonna try and sell her on Pharasma.
Not yet.
Pharasma is a much better goddess.
So yeah, I guess Matumbe will. Is there anybody that looks like Matumbe or close? Someone who looks like that? You said there was people in dozens of different types of garb, but are there folks that look more exotic than others?
Yeah. So there's kind of this older man. You can tell he's not a Mwangi man.
Sure.
But he's definitely got this dark tanned complexion.
Sure.
And he's kind of flipping through some of the books in the library.
Oh. So Matumbe is going to walk up and say,
I see you value the writings in these texts.
Yes, my friend. What might your name be?
I am known as Matumbe, the Gravedigger of Pharasma.
Matumbe, you
Yes.
worship Pharasma, but I can tell you are not from Ustalav. From where do you hail?
I am from deep in the savannas of the Mwangi Expanse.
The Mwangi Expanse. I'm very familiar with the Mwangi Expanse.
Forgive me, I don't believe I caught your name.
Yes. My name is Vaskrav Horai.
Oh dear, I cannot pronounce that.
Yes, you can call me Z.
Z.
Z, if it's easier for you, Matumbe.
Much easier. So, Mr. Z, what were you doing in the Mwangi Expanse?
I procure all manner of fine artifacts to sell in my store. I do have a store in Lepidstadt in Ustalav. I know you may not be familiar with the country, but it's called Zavaskrov and Sons. And me and my two sons have basically a curiosity shop that we travel all over the world gathering these items, and we sell them in Lepidstadt.
Very interesting, Mr. Z.
Now, have you come across any items in your travels in the Mwangi Expanse or otherwise? I know it must be a great journey to make it this far for a funeral.
Specific artifacts? What one may consider odd and exotic, one other may find commonplace.
Well, you do know about the deities of Ustalav, obviously being a man of Pharasma. Things that would be more exotic than this. So, idols maybe. Things from the jungle or otherwise.
Well, Mr. Z, I will have you know that to someone not native the Mwangi Expanse, I think I have found things in my travels that that you would find as, you may consider a relic or something, or a sort of artifact. The most exotic thing I've found perhaps would be a totem of Agazam, the Gorilla King, the Demon Lord. Have you heard this name before?
I have heard of such a man. Well, he is not a man, but a god. Yes, Angazan, the deity of the jungle in the Mwangi Expanse. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
We have been in the Mwangi jungles many times, but we have not found his dread city.
I would not attempt to find the Dread City. I have dealt with many of the followers of the Gorilla King, and they are not people you want to be running into in the midst of the jungle.
And what relics would you say you found from this Angazan?
Oh, nothing I would consider a relic, but something, maybe someone like you, someone from outside of the Miwongi expanse would consider odd. I found many totems, many gold idols of the gorilla demon lord himself. You may find these very valuable.
We shall certainly talk of this later.
It would be my pleasure.
If you ever find yourself in Lipidstadt, please come to my shop, meet my sons. Maybe we can purchase a map off of you.
Maybe there's something I would like to purchase off of you.
There very well may be. We have quite the collection of curiosities.
I like doing business.
If you are a businessman, we have business for you.
And it would appear I'm talking to someone who likes business.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Thank you for talking me in circles, Mr. Matumbe. You flatter me.
So it's just business
You
as
flatter
usual,
me.
huh?
So as this conversation kind of concludes between
No, it just keeps going in
Do
circles.
you like business?
I like business, but do you like business?
I am a businessman.
I can tell from your appearance.
it never ends. Okay, so as the two kind of continue to talk business, Eclipse, where's your character?
So Eclipse probably would have walked in the door. She's again not very used to all of these people everywhere, and clearly she opens 2 drinks, starts double fisting right away.
Sounds like her.
But actually, she's probably would. I would like to roll a perception, I guess, because she would probably want to look for the most, I guess, shadowy or more in like the, I don't know, in the background kind of character, because that's generally how she spends her life. Okay, more air quotes
Edgy.
ghost sounds.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Okay. Not bad. 18.
Oh, well, you definitely see this happening in the corner of the room then. You see this rather short man. He's about 5'4". He's tall to you, obviously, but to most people, he's kind of a tiny guy. He's definitely super old. He's got this shock of white hair, big bushy white eyebrows, and he's over in the corner by the fireplace, and he's got this contraption. And it's making a little bit of noise. It's like you can see that gears are cranking on it, and he's like,
Oh, fiddly thing. Why can't I get this fire to light?
and he's over in the corner with this mechanism, and it's like, why wouldn't you use spark, old man? Like, what are you doing over here with this basically almost robotic looking thing? It looks completely out of place.
Haley, before you go talk to this old man, are you sure that you as a player want to subject everybody to the old man voice?
I'm really not sure. And also,
And he looks over at you and he goes,
Oh, who are you? Come over.
GM has decided I have no choice. But yeah, no, she will walk over there though.
okay. So she walks over to him, and I imagine if you like tap him on the shoulder or something, he's like completely startled. He's like,
Oh, hello.
Hello, what are you doing?
I'm trying to get this damn fire to light. I'm using my patented magicless spark.
Have you actually made any money from that patent?
All over Galarian, my inventions are widely known.
I've never seen anything like this.
Well, it's for a special clientele.
What else have you invented?
Well, me and Professor Lorimore invented a great number of contraptions in our day. I actually was quite surprised to be summoned for this funeral. I expected I would die long before him. As you can see, I'm up in years, but I am still kicking.
Oh wow, how old are you?
I'm 83.
Oh, I'm like 50 something.
I'm human, and you clearly are not. What did you say your name was, by the way, young lady?
I didn't say my name.
Well, It's in polite society, we tell each other our names, so I'll go first. My name is Horace Croon. Good to meet you.
Hello, Horace. I'm Eclipse.
Hello, Eclipse. That's a pretty name. Are you from here? How did you know the professor?
I can feel a heat here from here.
Oh God. No.
I think sparks are flying, and I'm not talking the contraption.
I mean the mechanical.
Oh God!
I've forgotten what you've even asked because of this.
Love
I'm being a bit
knows
forward.
no age.
Apparently, it's only like a 22-year-old difference.
Exactly.
I asked how you knew the professor.
I actually never met Professor Lorimore. My dad used to adventure with him.
What was your dad's name? Maybe I know him.
His name was Burnett.
Burnett. That's a unique name. I don't believe I've met a Burnett. The professor usually worked with me. We were kind of a dynamic duo, if you will, back in my youth, when I was vigorous. But
I was trying so hard to hold it together, and then you said vigorous.
And like you shook your whole head when you said it.
well, I just wanted to show how vigorous I am. So, the professor and I made all sorts of inventions, and we left probably our grandest invention, unfinished. It was a device that could carry you into the depths of the ocean. And we haven't completed how you would be able to breathe under it, so really it's just a metal death trap now, but hopefully one day I'll finish it before I go the way of Professor Lorimore.
Wouldn't you just keep air inside of the machine?
Well, then you couldn't get to great depths. You'd run out of air before you got to the bottom.
Can't we just have like a wizard that has some air spells?
Pish posh. Lorimore was a wizard and he still knew the value of inventing things. It's progress, Eclipse. Progress.
For the non-magical, yes.
Yes. How do you think that half-orc over by the deli table would be able to make it down to the depths? He would never make it. I know he can't cast spells. Just look at him.
He would need to have some good friends.
But I think his only friend right now is the brisket on the table.
There's brisket?
Yes.
Does Eclipse leave at that? Just walks away.
Goodbye, young lady.
And so she does a good Irish goodbye and just walks away.
That lady, what a rude little girl.
I was going to say a real firecracker.
What a humdinger she is.
Okay, so Eclipse heads to the deli table, and she's sidled up next to Ikmur at this point. Lyra, you're kind of, since your dad is here, he's kind of trying to introduce you to people that he knows. So he definitely takes you up to Adivion, the other guy that spoke at the wedding, because he was in an adventuring party with him. So he says, Lyra, this is my good adventuring companion, Adivion. He was the professor's apprentice, and he really got us out of a lot of tight spaces. He's quite adept at the arcane arts. Adivion, this is my daughter Lyra.
It's nice to meet you, Adivion. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's great to see you again, Lyra. I remember you when you were wee.
I've grown up a lot since.
I can tell your father, McLeod, has been taking great care of you.
He's taught me a lot of great lessons, and he's given me a really good life here.
I see you've kept singing.
Never stopped.
No, it's much nicer to hear these days.
I've gotten certain things under control, but I'm still working at it.
Well, I imagine you're here for the will as well. Were you? I know your father and I were left in. The professor specifically wrote that we would be present for the reading.
Yeah, I was told that I was mentioned, but I don't really know what to expect.
He was a clever man. That's why I took him as my mentor. He knew everything, and he could tell the reason behind everything that anyone needed. He was, wow. We were all blessed to be a part of his life. I do say, I'll miss him forever. I wish he could have stayed around. It seems like a man as great as him wouldn't have died so soon.
Sure is a great loss. He's helped so many of us and will be sorely missed.
Well, Lyra, enjoy yourself. It's great catching up. I've got to head to the library. I think the professor has some books that Kendra might not have as much use for anymore. So I'm going to go check that out. And so he kind of heads over into the library. And as he's leaving, a man comes up, and he's got this shock of kind of wild red hair. He's wearing an official, it looks like a guard's uniform, but not from any town you've been in. You can kind of intuit that he's not necessarily a Ravengrow guard. He looks like he's, traveled to be at this funeral as well. And he introduces himself to you and your dad, and he's like, "Hello there. Hi, my name is Ed Dunn. It's great to meet you guys. Were you guys part of the adventuring party with the professor? I heard so much about it."
I never was, I guess, an adventurer, but I was rescued by his adventuring party.
Oh, well, yeah, I've heard about those kind of stories too. The professor and his friends. Wow. My dad, he actually adventured with the professor once. They went into the jungle, and my dad died, but he still, the professor gave my mom a cut of the money so that we didn't, go poor in the streets of Lepidstadt. He actually put in a good word for me. I'm on their city guard now. If you ever need anything in Lepidstadt, let me know. Also, it's great to meet you. Wow. And he kind of he's sweating a little bit, and he's kind of standing there uncomfortably quiet for a little longer than you would want, staring at you and your dad. And he's looking over at Adivion, who's in the other room. He's he keeps whispering under his breath, wow. This is so cool. So we'll pan back over to E and Ikmur, who are over by the food, and the other woman who was taking up the rear of the casket comes up to you guys, and Ikmur, you immediately recognize her. She's got the same crazy black hair. She stands 5'11", tall, strong-looking woman, and these piercing yellow eyes. And she says, "Ikmur, interesting meeting you here. How have you been, boy?"
I know you.
Yes. Do you remember that night?
Of course I do.
You nearly died, boy.
That is very true. What? How are you here?
I did know the professor. I helped him research in the Shadowwood Forest. I guess I should introduce myself to you, Ikmur. You see, I knew you, but you never knew me, did you?
No, not at all. I guess officially, hi, I'm Ikmur.
Hello, Ikmur. My name is Kvelka Sane. I knew the professor because I helped him study lycanthropy in the Shadowwood Forest.
Wow.
Do you know what lycanthropy is? How about you, young girl? Do you know what lycanthropy is?
Out of character, is there a role for this?
Yeah, it'd be knowledge, nature.
Oh, yeah, I won't know it otherwise.
Well, I mean, it's kind of general knowledge if you lived in Ustalav, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I lived in New Slav, so I should know this, correct?
Yeah, probably.
It's the werewolves, right?
Yes. Ikmur knows my little secret, don't you, Ikmur?
I do. Am I, as well?
No, Ikmur, you're not. The man was not a werewolf that stabbed you in the stomach. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Phew. Man. Oh, well.
And I did not bite you, did I?
No, no, you didn't.
Then you should be fine. You see, the professor...
He blushes a little bit. But I wish you did.
The professor was studying lycanthropy in the Shadowwood Forest when he met me, and I swayed his opinion on whether it was an affliction or a way of living. And I do believe he stopped trying to cure it, so to speak. So maybe my opinion won out.
Wow. That's actually really cool. That's very nice of you.
Ikmur, everything's going over his head. He's just kind of like, wow. You all should visit me in the Shutterwood Forest if you get the chance, Ikmur, because I can at least guarantee your safety.
Oh, absolutely, nice lady. Wow, I can't wait to come see you. Oh, yeah.
So you turn into a wolf?
And sometimes in between.
What?
Yes, and she smiles at you, and you can see her canines are much longer than a regular person's. And so yeah, she's basically she wanted to come up and officially meet Ikmur because she remembers him from when he was so she does ask, Ikmur, you're not letting those men beat you in the middle of a pit, are you?
Nope.
Did you listen to what I said?
I very much so did.
Okay.
Not anymore. Just in graveyards. That happened today. You were there.
I did see this.
Yeah.
You put up a great fight, Ikmur.
I hit that one guy pretty good, huh?
Oh, I'm surprised he's alive.
Yeah.
So this kind of
good, right?
This goes on, and
He's asking very personal questions any minute that Ikmur's not talking.
well, you can go ahead and ask one if you want.
Okay. So when do you transform?
Well, I can do it at will, but generally it would be around the full moon.
So are you forced on the full moon, or is this like a personal thing? No.
See, if I were to bite young Ikmur here, he would be forced at the full moon, but I was born a werewolf, and so I have a choice.
So E is just like in awe right now. She would like, there's nothing more she would like than just to like follow this girl around.
And the girl does say, she has opened the invitation to you two that if you ever make it to the Shutterwood, she's offering you her protection against whatever's in the forest, and you could visit her there.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, I really want to visit Pretty Lady.
Shit. Adventure path derailed. Straight to the later books.
All right, a full episode of
Ikmur
Ick visiting the pretty lady.
Hi.
Ike visits a pretty lady. He's the wingman.
Nice.
So as this conversation is happening, I assume everybody kind of heads up for food at some point. And this wide-faced, broad as a barrel man strides into the room as you guys are kind of eating hors d'oeuvres, and he's got this tray, and the tray is covered in shots.
Oh, dear God.
And he walks in, sets it on the table, and he says, "Hello, everybody. My name is Zokar El-Karid. It is fantastic to meet you all. I've heard stories about all four of you from last night. I heard you're a weird saltwater drinking lady. I heard you actually drink beer. I know you two drink water, but hey, I do not care about ages. You, young man, can have a shot at my bar." And so he offers these shots to you guys, and you can see, like, they're actually kind of thoughtfully curated. Like, Matumbe's shot doesn't contain alcohol, but it's like this ginseng tea. Ikmur actually does get a shot. He gets a shot of whiskey. Eclipse has this kind of like, it looks like a bomb type shot, like something's dropped in it. And then Lyra has a salt rimmed tequila shot.
Very nice.
I'm so excited.
So are you confirming canon that tequila exists in Galarian?
Yeah, somebody makes it, I'm sure.
All right.
In our Galarian.
Ooh, I think this bartender might come up with real shots in the future.
That was the plan.
Yeah.
So,
Oh God, we're gonna have to drink whatever he gives
so
us.
Zokar,
This weekend?
yeah, Zokar comes with these shots and he says, "I know this is very sad occasion, and the professor Petros was a good friend of mine. He was a great patron of my bar, but I say we drown our sorrows tonight as a laughing demon. Is anybody with me?"
Yes.
So ease into it.
All right. Is there a check that I can do, I guess, as far as figuring his intentions?
Yeah, that would be a sense motive.
All right. Oh, boy. Total of 2.
Yeah, you think he's just like a big lion scumbag. He's like the worst guy ever. He doesn't seem jolly or happy at all.
Oh, all right.
You're skeptical of this man.
Skeptical, but based on Ikmur's past, he'd be easily coerced into it.
Oh yeah, and he gives the pretty lady a shot too. He's kind of passing him around. So.
Oh, then he would take it.
I knew it. So you guys take your little shots at this after party, and finally, is that the you didn't have shots? Cute?
No, I don't have shots by Little John on cue, but
So
next time.
So as you guys are, you're talking to all these people and you met all these new faces, you're kind of processing all of this, and some of you, cross between the people that you each talk to individually, and Matumbe is bringing people over to the other businessman talking business, and Ikmur follows the pretty lady everywhere, and that kind of thing. So finally, kind of like this portly, jowly man enters the building, and he introduces himself as Councilman Hearthmount, the guy that was supposed to read the will and testament. And so he says, gather, everybody. We have a will to read. I know it's a sad occasion, and I can see half of you are already taking shots.
Lyra looks a little shamed.
Please gather in the foyer, and I will read Professor Lorimore's last will and testament.
Can you repeat his name real quick?
His name is Councilman Hearthmount.
Hearthmouth?
Yeah, Hearthmount.
Mount.
Like I mounted it over the hearth.
Okay, thank you.
I thought you were going to finish that statement.
So
I'm taking notes.
So he gathers people in the room and he says, before I open up this will, I need to know if the people that Petros has stated need to be here are here. If I could do a roll call, that would be lovely. Is Motumbe here?
I am here.
How about Edward Dunn? And he raises his hand. I'm here. Ikmur.
I'm here.
Mr. Horace.
Yes, present.
Eclipse.
I'm here.
Mikhail. Here, present. And his daughter Lyra.
Present.
Divian Adversant.
I'm here.
Horace Croon.
Here, I'm in the back.
Sparks are flying.
I'm behind Eclipse. Count Clusane.
Eclipse like 3 shots in. My man.
And finally, Auburn Chalet.
Present.
And so, with that, he pulls out a tube of parchment with Professor Lorimore's seal across the front, showing that it is unopened. And as he pulls that out of his pocket, a key falls out on the ground, and he seems not to pay any attention to it. And I need you guys to roll a perception check, but before we do that, I need you to finish your drink.
Are you kidding me?
Got him.
Oh my gosh.